everyone, it's Sharonda from Prayer Waits, and today I'm going to be reviewing Power Book 2, Ghost Season 2, Episode 5, Coming to Roost. Coming Home to Roost. I felt like all my years of Black Mama parables, it just really paid off with this title. It just took me way back, all right? I don't know about y'all, but you know, it was always some little lines, some little parable lines they said. Not a parable. Is it a parable? Child, I need to go back to church. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. But we see that the episode opens up. Zeke is in the car with Monet and with Davis. He's going to turn himself in to the police due to his interview that he failed tremendously. All right. And so they basically tell him that he needs to turn himself in. So he's in the car. Davis is giving him the rundown like, hey, don't befriend anyone. Don't try to get close to anyone because at the end of the day, they are basically going to try to use whatever they can to get their sentence taken off. Or to even get out of jail. So it's just really keep your mouth shut. And I was like, well, sir, y'all told him to keep his mouth shut, but that's why he in this mess in the first place, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. I'm sorry. Zeke just really does something to my spirit. Every time I see Zeke, I just want to shake him. You ever see somebody and you just want to shake them? Just shake the stupid out of them. Why are you so stupid? I'm sorry. That's not fair to Zeke. I'm sorry, Zeke. I know that there's some common sense left somewhere inside of you. And we're just going to blame it on Monet and how she chose to raise you. We're just going to blame it on the other family that you grew up with until you made it to her house during your high school years, all right? Okay. Whew. Davis has his own side plan. So he is using Sack's case to get Lorenzo out to help get his brother out of jail. During the conversation, his brother basically alludes to the fact that he is in jail protecting Davis for something that he probably actually did. That's just my hunch. I'm not for sure. He said, I'm chilling. Like, I'm just living my best life. He just said he's living his best life. I don't know why I just broke out in the song, but y'all know I just can't help it. It's just sometimes I just got to sing it out. So, let's get into, you know what, let's get to Carrie Raggedy behind, because last week I was talking about how Lauren needed to die, but really Carrie is the one that needs to die. Like, Carrie's at the top of the kill list. I need Carrie to go. Either it's going to be Monet or it's going to be Lauren or Zeke. Somebody got to kill Carrie. Okay. All right. So Carrie, you know, I was dying laughing when she answered her phone when Monet was calling her. She was like, hey, and she was like, look, bitch. I said, why she gotta be a bitch? Why she gotta be a bitch? I was just really confused. I was like, that's how you just talking to people on the phone, Monet? So she told her that, hey, Zeke out of jail, so whatever you was doing, don't do it no more because he out of jail. Just make sure you stay your raggedy behind away from Zeke. And I was just laughing so hard. I probably missed half of this conversation because I was just dying at how Monet just turned up as soon as Carrie answered the phone. So we see that Kamal and Kevin raggedy behind. They show up to Carrie. How y'all the nerve, the gall, to show up to Carrie after y'all had her as the #1 prime suspect in this case? Y'all like, hey, Carrie girl, I know we was trying to blame you for murder these past couple of episodes, but can you help us with the case now? Can you read Jabari's book? I said, you really came up in here asking this woman that you was trying to frame for murder because she wouldn't let you get the cheeks, okay? I was just confused. And then Carrie said, oh yes, I would love to help you. Did Monet tell you to sit your behind down? See what happened when you don't listen? You're going to have to go. And I hope you need to be the first one to go, Carrie. All right. She agrees to it. She ends up reading Jabari's novel. So when they get to class, you know, they talking about karma. I said, ooh, karma, this is going to be juicy, y'all. Let me see what's happening in the class today. I was like, I like this class now. Carrie starts going in really hard on Tariq. Like, she was in his ass the entire time. And so they're talking about karma. And, you know, karma, you know, our actions are good or bad can basically affect the future of our lives. It's the law of cause and effect for karma. And they're discussing it. And then Carrie was like, I know all y'all little chicken heads sitting up here trying to answer the question on what we talking about. I need Tariq. What are you thinking about karma? I said, she must have read this book, because the way I ain't never seen Carrie go so hard on somebody, especially Tariq of all people. And so afterwards, we see that Lauren goes to talk to Carrie later in the episode. And Carrie basically uses this as a way to get Lauren to use her wire to try to get Tariq, but she twists it and she tells her that it's actually Brayden who is the one that is behind the drugs on campus. He is the one that is selling drugs. He's dangerous. And she was like, well, I need to tell Tariq. And then I was like, okay, Lauren, ride or die, Lauren. I shouldn't have said he should have killed you last episode. Then Carrie's like, no, you can't say anything. You want to protect him, right? I said, nah, she's sitting up here manipulating this girl because she mad that he got, I was just like, Carrie, the nerve. So she convinced this girl to basically get some info on Brayden. And we see that she goes to, she went to Tariq's place looking for him, but then she ran in on Kane and Brayden. And then she sat up here talking about, oh, he trying to find an apartment for his sister. I said, baby, if you don't know who he is, why are you telling all his business? That's just common sense right there. If I don't know if this person talked to you, I'm not going to be volunteering somebody else's business if they're not there to tell it themselves, okay? That's just common courtesy. So you can tell these kids grew up just spoiled because they don't even know that you just, the laws of snitching, telling people's business, all right, that ain't yours. Okay, fine. Sorry. I'm just really upset with the kids in this episode. So Kane, let's talk about Kane behind. Kane goes to see Brayden. I don't know how Kane keeps getting into Brayden and Tariq's dorm room. I don't know. They just leaving their door unlocked. I don't know what's happening. Did somebody give him a key? Did I miss all of this? Please let me know in the comment section below if I missed where he put, like, where somebody gave him the key to just be up in their room, how he is so easily. Because I remember in school, like, you had to sign in with your ID. I'm just trying to figure out how he has his freedom. And so we talked about the whole thing about with Lauren and Brayden. But we see that he goes to talk to Mecca, and essentially Mecca connects the dots about what happened between Tariq and Kane with Professor Reynolds. And he's basically trying to get in with him. I still don't know what Mecca's angle is, and that bothers me. I don't know if he's like playing Monet, trying to like take over her territory, or if he's trying to get back at Lorraine. I don't know what's happening, but it still feels like I don't have the full picture. And I don't think it's just like he's in love with Monet and he wants to get with her. So I'm trying to figure out how he's maneuvering Kane in order to get to Monet. I still don't know. Let me know your theories, because I know y'all stay with some conspiracy theories up in this comment section. So we see that Brayden ends up getting the drugs, and I'll get to that a little bit later when Tariq goes to Tejada to help her. He wants her to get him some drugs since Monet basically shut down everything after she figured out everything that was happening. But because Brayden shows up, even though Kane said that Tariq needed to be there, we see that Tariq is there, but he's waiting in the shadows because he wants to follow Kane and get to his connect. And so we see that he follows him, and when he goes in, I did feel like Tariq, I was like, baby, what you doing? Because like you just standing in between the bushes with your phone out. I was just like, are you trying to be incognito? Like, I know it's incognito, but I just say incognito. But I just like, this is not how you tell somebody. And Kane, I was like, you stupid too. Like, how you gonna see Tariq with this sloppy telling? I watched enough Law and Order. I watched enough movies to know how to truly tell somebody. I'm just playing, y'all. I don't know how to tell nobody. But we see that Tariq Dumba ends up getting caught by Nuff, and he get the brakes beat off of him. And then I was scared because the chef, I thought the chef was just a chef. I thought he was just a chef, all right? And so he calling the shots like, hey, do you know him? Do you know who this is, Kane? And Kane was like, nah, I ain't never seen him. And then everybody looking like, nah, you know this fool lying. I was like, he sure is lying. But they let him go. But we see later in the episode that essentially Nuff is questioning him again in front of Mecca this time, that he knew who he was. And Mecca gets upset because he was just like, sorry, for you talk way too much. And why did you put your hands on him, especially since he's connected to high people? Why would you put your hands on him and risk our operation and somebody trying to come and find us? So he gave a little nod to the chef, and I was like, okay, what y'all nodding about? Like, he finna make you some sushi? You ready for your food now? And then he slit his throat. He started bleeding. I was like, so y'all just wasted all that good shrimp. Did you see them type of shrimp? You saw that y'all just gonna let him bleed all on that shrimp? I was just like, I mean, I should be sad that I don't care about enough. I was really mad about the food. That really upset me. Then he talked about cleaning this up. I'm just like, so none of y'all just gonna let the food go to waste? Haven't made sense for me. So, let's talk about Drew, because Drew and Everett get on my nerves. I hope Everett get killed too, because he too damn nosy. So Drew is with Everett, and then Zeke come back. They're talking, and essentially he's like, dang, I keep saying basically and essentially it's filler words, and I really need to stop, and I'm going to work on this in 2022. Somebody mentioned in a comment, and now I'm very cognizant of it. Y'all, just let me be. I'm trying to work through. I'm trying to find like a way not to use filler words. That has nothing to do with anything. I probably didn't even notice. It's just me talking about this. Okay. Everett is upset because Everett wanted to go into the draft, and now because Zeke is back, he's going to be number 2. And Drew's like, I didn't know you wanted to like be in a draft. And I was like, baby, I didn't even know you could actually play basketball. Are you that good? Are you even good? Ugh. Zeke pop up. Zeke got a new hairdo. He talking about how, after being charged with murder, I got my life back on straight and stuff. I was like, is he drunk, or is this just how he talk? He was just, I just didn't understand. And he asked him how do you two know each other? And Drew was able to lie and talk about like, yeah, we met at the club. And then Everett had a little nasty ass attitude. And I said, what you got an attitude for? Because any other day, you don't want nobody to know who you are, who you smashing. He was like, you lie real easily. I said, baby, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired for Drew. You always got a problem with what Drew do, but you still trying to get them cheeks smashed. So have him either you want to be with him or you don't. But if you want to be with him, you got to accept what he do. Ugh, he got to go too. I was really mad too when Everett saw Drew. When Everett dropped Drew off at Monet's house when Tariq went to go see them after he got the brakes beat off of him. I was so mad when Everett nosy behind saw him. I was like, his nosy behind probably gonna say something about this too, because he a snitch. He stay snitching. So let's talk a little bit about Kamal, because I was really happy that Kamal got into Kevin's ass this episode, because Kevin is so caught up on the fact that Zeke was smashing Carrie and she won't give him none, that he is still, after they find this evidence, he's still trying to get Zeke for murder. I don't know who got to tell you. The Lord has to come from the heavens and be like, hey, bruh, I know you upset, but he didn't do it. You need to just find somebody else. Kamal basically tells him off and then says that Jabari's book is based off of true events, because that's how his first book was, and he follows a pattern. And he ignored him. Kamal tells him hey, let me just try to work out this angle. I think it's Tariq St. Patrick, but I just need more time. Don't tell Jenny what's happening. Don't tell her about the connection with Kane. What does Kevin behind do? Go tell Jenny dumb behind. And guess who saw him? Saw Kevin at the place. It was Sax nosy behind too. I was just like, you gonna learn one way or another, Kevin. He's another one that can go. Honestly, half of this cast can get killed, and I would totally be okay with it. I'm not trying to say kill people. I'm just talking about the TV show. But yeah. But Monet. So Monet meets up with Mecca, and she was like, I don't need you no more. And she was like, we gotta dead this. And he was like, here's the living trust, Monet. Everything that I have will be yours and your kids. I said, well, girl, he trying to take care of your kids. It's not even his kids. I said, okay. Girl, if you don't want them, I'll take them. Side note, I do not believe that Mecca and Monet have no chemistry whatsoever. So it's really hard to believe these things. I see Mecca going hard for Monet, but they just don't even have, she don't even look like she like him. So that's why I never am moved by anything that he actually says to her, because I'm like, Sire, it's clear that she's just not that into you. I don't know why you can't see that. So he asks her, how much do you want to lose before you make the right choice? And he was like, I'm not leaving New York unless you coming with me. I said, a man, give me, Lord, send me a man like Mecca, but that doesn't murder people or sell drugs, okay? So we see that she ends up having a talk with Kane and basically tells Kane that Tariq owned up to everything that, owned up to his part in what happened with Jabari. And she says that she needs to be able to trust him. So she was like, I need you to find what Tariq cares about most, because at this point, if he can lie to me, he's not scared of me. And I need him to know that I'm in control. And so we see that Kane ends up taking the phone. Nuff had his phone, so he took Tariq's phone. And he basically gives her the phone back. And he's just like, hey, what you did like, you put us both in jeopardy because you don't trust me, because you sent Tariq after me. Like, you almost got me killed while you were trying to figure out the connect. And I really was happy. Monet got cursed out a couple of times. I really like when Kane was like, who am I to you? Am I your son or am I your soldier? And she was like, you both. And then he was like, so what does that say about you as a mother? And I said, ooh, got her. Okay. He laid into her. He was still mad because he was real upset after he snitched on Tariq and she didn't do nothing. He was really upset about that. But we see that later in the episode, she goes to tell Lorenzo what's happening and how Zeke got off. Then Lorenzo got a phone call from Sax, and Sax says, you have a hearing tomorrow. Clearly, I've been saying the whole time that Lorenzo's going to get out of jail. It's going to just create more conflict. And of course, after Monet goes to see Mecca again and tells him that she's ready for a new start, that she just needs a little bit of time to actually tell her kids. When she goes home, she sees Lorenzo sitting there. Yeah, I died. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Mary, that look she was giving, she was like, I said, baby, what is this look? Well, she saw Lorenzo at the table, and then Diana looking all shook, because, like, Beesh, I knew it was you. I was like, what is this look that Monet was doing at the end? I just didn't understand it. But it was clear that it was like, I don't know anything else about Monet, but I know she hate them damn kids. Okay, I know she hate them kids. She hate them kids. She hate them kids. That look she had was like, I hate all y'all little Negroes. All of y'all. All of you. All right? But we got to talk about Tariq done behind, because Tariq is what really sent me Ghost, one of the pettiest TV dads that I've ever encountered on television. I love him so much. We see that at the beginning of the episode. He's still concerned about Zeke. He's texting Davis, asking when he's going to turn him in. He's telling him, hey, we're doing it right now. Brayden's trying to talk to him and tell him about the drug sweep, but Tariq keeps brushing Brayden off, not really trying to listen. He says that he has other things to take care of. But if you see any of the Tejadas, don't tell them where I'm at. You ain't seen me, nothing. But when he goes outside after he's leaving class, after Carrie had already went on him, Monet rolled up. She just popped up out of nowhere too. I was like, that reminded me of a time story time, y'all. One time, I don't know what I did, but my mom stole my car. I don't know if I got a bad grade on something. I was in college, and do you know this woman came and took the keys and drove my car off the lot? I had to call her. I was like, Ma, somebody stole my car. She was like, oh no, didn't nobody steal your car? I came and took my car because you not doing right. I was just like, bitch, it's 90 degrees outside. I got asthma. You finna have me walking outside with asthma? Sorry, that's just a side note. So when Monet popped up on him, it scared me because it triggered me a little bit. It took me back to that time when my mother used to do that to me, okay? She didn't send the police to my door in college. I didn't answer the phone one time. God forbid I take a nap. She sent the police. I was like, boom, 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 boom. I'm opening the door like, hello? And he was like, your mother told us to do a wellness check. I said, bitch, she only called me an hour ago. I was asleep. Okay. Oh, Sharon, she's just such a cool mom. So she took him off on campus. She talked about, let's take a drive. She had her gun out, and she was basically like, why didn't you tell me about what happened with the professor? And he was like, Jabari knew too much about GCG and the shooting on campus, and so, you know, Kane shot him, and I had to help take care of it. And she basically enlists Tariq to go figure out who Kane's connect is, which got him into all of the trouble that we talked about. But she said if he figures that out, she'll end up letting him go. In the midst of all of this, he's still dealing with the custody hearing. He meets up with his trust attorney who's handling his father's trust. And he says, hey, I need you to represent me. And he reluctantly says yes, because his grandmother was misusing the funds that Ghost left for him in the trust. So he ends up asking Diana for money because he's trying to figure out a way to like make all of these payments. He's trying to find an apartment so he can have a place for her to live. He needs all of this to be done before he actually goes to court the next day. So basically she's ended up telling him like, hey, I need you to watch Kane because I don't trust him. I know that he's probably the one who switched the Coke out with sugar. And he was like, I don't trust him either. And she agrees to basically go to Kane and tell him about everything. And Kane ends up doing it because Diana threatens him, saying that I'm going to tell mom what you did with Coke so you can get back in with the family. Diana did tell him about the sister, so I guess he was going to find out about the sister regardless. But we see that when Tariq is actually going to the apartment after he gets the brakes beat up off of him, I was like, sir, why did you think they was going to rent to you looking like that? Like, I was just confused. You didn't want to put on makeup. You didn't want to put, like, no sunglasses on, like something to try to cover your face. Think, Tariq, think. Because you be thinking what you don't be thinking. Of course, he shows up late because the boy is always late. It was nice to see that Tariq had a car, because I was like, where did the car come from, Tariq? Because you running everywhere. You're always late. So how did you get a car out of nowhere to follow Kate? I was really confused by that. But Lauren actually grew on me this episode because she ended up giving Tariq the keys to her brother's place. I guess her brother is on drugs, which is probably why she doesn't do drugs in the first place, which is another indicator on why her and Tariq will never work. But she ends up giving him the lease so he can have a place to stay, so he can get custody of his sister, Yas. While he's on his way to, actually before that, Lauren starts asking questions about Brayden. And I don't know why Tariq didn't find this to be a little bit weird, her asking questions about Brayden and then asking about the book. And then when this dummy said, no, the book's not about Brayden because Jabari told me who the book was about. And I was like, this dumb Negro. And then that's when they basically get everything they need. Kamal and them are listening because she has the rollie on. And then they get the dorm, they get the warrant to go search his dorm from Stansfield. I'm just so tired. When I be liking Lauren, then she be doing stupid stuff too. So Monet picks him up on her way to the hearing, and she's basically like, you never think that there's ever consequences for your actions, which is very true of Tariq. Tariq makes a lot of bold moves, but he never thinks that he's ever going to have to pay any repercussions because of it. And so she said, this is going to be, your repercussion for letting Zeke get into trouble, which Monet is still basically, it's you who is to blame, Monet. So, like, I don't understand. Did I call her Monique? Monet, it's you who is to blame about what happened to Zeke, but somehow you want to put it on Tariq. Like, Monet never wants to take responsibility for where she messed up sometimes, too. So, he's saying that she basically says, I'm not going to let you get out of the car. I'm going to make you late, and I'm going to let you lose custody of your sister. But Tariq went off on her, and he was like, baby, you on an island by yourself, and you don't even know it, okay? Because do you think you can really do this stuff without me, ho? He didn't call her no ho, because she probably would have shot him if he called her a ho. But she was like, do you know that Drew's still messing with Everett, who was snitching on them, who gave his name to the cops? Do you know that Diana was the one who stole the money from you in order to get her father out of jail? Did you know that Kane was the one who stole your product and switched everything out so he could get back in with the family? So he was like, so let me ask you one more time, Monet, can you do it without me? He wasn't getting this crack like that, but I was like, tell her, get her, okay? So she basically lets him get out of the car, and he makes the hearing. He's a little late. He always late, but he gets custody of her. She was like, hey, you're on thin ice, so if anything happens, you're going to lose custody. And so I was like, dang. He go back to campus. He all happy and stuff. And then he sees the police talking to Brayden. And Brayden gives him a look. And then Kamal and them come from the back. They arrest him for murder of Jabari. And then when he gets to jail, we see that he's meeting with the attorney. I thought it was going to be Davis because Davis gets a call, gets in a taxi. But it is the trust attorney. And he hands him a letter. Also, side note, he's still going to hell for taking his grandma to court. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that. But when grandma said, when she said that I let my drinking get away from me, I said, baby, like I know you could let the time get away from you, but you let the drinking get away from you. And then when she said, are you going to rehab? And she was like, I'm praying on it. I said, now I know prayer changes things, okay? I'm not gonna deny the power of prayer. But I don't think that's what the judge was looking for. Okay, she was looking, did you go to rehab? I was really confused by this. I said, baby, are you still drinking? Because these responses don't make no sense to me, okay? So Tariq ends up getting arrested. He gets a letter. He says, this is the letter that your father told me to give you if you were to ever, be arrested for homicide. Why did this letter say? The letter said, I knew you would end up here, little nigga, right where you belong. I said, y'all, how is Ghost still being petty from the grave? How is Ghost being petty from the grave? Haven't made sense for me. I was dying laughing this entire time. Ghost is literally one of the pettiest TV dads that I've ever experienced. That whole line and him knowing who his son was, even from his grave, Tariq, It reminds me of a time when my grandmother called me the N-word for the first time. I wouldn't fall staying with my grandma because my mom shipped me off to my grandma's house in Wisconsin. And I didn't feel like folding no towels. And she was like, you ungrateful nigga. I said, oh my God, they calling grandma's calling their grandkids the N-word. I called mama, I said, mama. I was crying. I said, mama, do you know what your mama just said to me? She called me an N-word. My mom on the other line laughing. I said, this bitch, you sitting up here laughing. What she was like, she just now calling you that? I said, oh, so the apple don't fall far from the tree, huh? So that line right there, him calling him that really just hit home for me. Like I said, this just brought me back to so many memories of my grandma and my mama just basically just giving me all these little sayings and stuff, calling me the N-word. Who would have thought, okay, that we would be here still thinking about those little gems from my past. But Power is getting really good, y'all. I still don't think Mecca and Monet have chemistry, but whatever. I'm still going to go with it because I just think that Daniel fine as hell. But Power is good. The writers, y'all giving us some good storylines. All I need you to do is deliver me Carrie's death before the end of the season and we Gucci. I'll even let Lauren live if Carrie gets to die. If Carrie and Kevin get to die, actually, let both of them die because Kevin get on my damn nerves too. But I really enjoyed this episode. It keeps getting better and better each week. So yeah, like, let me know in the comment section below, what did you think about tonight's episode of Power? As always, my name is Sharona from Pair Waits, and those are my thoughts on Power Book 2, Season 2, Power Book 2 Go Season 2, Episode 5, Coming Home to Roost. As always, my name is Sharona from Pair Waits, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again, bye!